Uh, so welcome to the Sound Workshop number 2. Today we're gonna go over to how to put audio into Unity. Later on, if I got time, I'm gonna go over a little bit of a Wise or WWise. That is an audio middleware and how to put stuff in Unity. Regardless of which one you're using, they still use the same concepts in implementing audio. Just that the for the audio designer, it'll function a little bit differently. But as far as implementation goes, it still uses the same concepts. So over here, we have a little sample scene I built, and right now I have it. So we got a capsule, and every time you go into a cube, you can hear it triggers the sound effect. And there's two ways to do this. A normal way of triggering the audio would be using a really simple audio script. And right here, I just have a function that says whenever I hit an object, it'll play a sound. And have an audio source on it. And I'm naming it in the script play sound. So play sound dot play. The dot right here, you can imagine that as when you go into an object. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It's like right here, we have an audio source. If you put a script on the audio source, do I have it connected? Like right here, same idea. We have it saying grab the audio source in the object. And then this script, those are the other bots over here. I'm telling it, okay, grab the audio source, create an array, void awake, so like when the object's called, or pretty much like on start, when the program starts, or is active, or is what awake is. Give the component, and then down here we have the clip, and we have it triggering at random. So we're naming the audio source and the clip within the audio source. We're grabbing one of them at random. And then we're telling it to play once. And then so we're playing the audio source right here, grabbing it, and then playing one shot called clip. Let's see right here, what it's doing is grabbing this object, or this component right here, and calling it in the script. There are other ways to do this, like the script I was showing before. Pretty much when it triggers, it'll play the audio. On here, it's grabbing the audio source and grabbing this as like a reference, and then creating an array and plugging in my audio. If we go down to audio source, it has a lot of different things, and you can do I believe like dot volume and things like that. Pretty much grabbing whatever part of the component right there. You can call that in the script and make it play however you want. Right here, you can change between like 2D and 3D audio, how far back the audio plays. For example, if I create a 3D, let's do another 3D cube. I'm gonna pull it over. Let's say I want like a loop on here. So I'll put this on there. I'll put a audio source. So I'll call it. I'll make this 1. So right now the script I created is going to call right here. And I'm going to put a loop. So there are 2 ways that this can play. If I set the cube up correctly. So let's do this one as on awake. And we're going to tell it to loop. Just how to play. And then we'll go to audio source and we're telling it to loop, play on awake, and we're calling it right here. It's gonna drag right there. If I double check, I have maybe that doesn't work. One second while I troubleshoot this. And really, I believe you don't even need this script right here that I created. But you can call it in a script, and that's handy if you're creating a game and your programmer has like on attack play animation. You can play the sound right there. It's like I did with the other 2 cues right here. For this one, really in Unity, you need the audio source, and then your camera will have a audio listener. That's a Unity thing. And you can put your listener on your player object or wherever you want the audio to be picked up. But it'll be emitted from wherever you have your audio source from. So the same thing I was doing in the script, we can do it right here. right now we have a audio source and on awake. So instead of calling it in the code, we're saying on awake, loop this audio. I don't know if you hear it, but it's like an AC vent. And we can change the volume. You can create an audio mixer. In most of Unity, you can't edit stuff in play mode, but for audio, you do have the option to edit in play mode, which is really handy. Other things are in the audio source. You have the option to do 2D audio or 3D. Yeah.
I think on your video, the inspector on the right is a little cut off for us. So if you could just like move over the,
yeah.
We can't really see what's in the audio source.
Let me. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. So we got spatial blend. We got 2D and 3D. What 2D means is like all your UI, I guess some ability stuff, pretty much anything that you don't want tied to a 3D object. UI would be the biggest example of this in music. You don't want it to be 3D. You don't want to tie it to an object unless it's a object that needs, like let's say a radio. That can be 3D because you want it coming from the actual radio itself. Otherwise, like UI and everything, you want it to be 2D. And you can even see down here, kind of like the curve on like how far and how like your distance and everything, and how that controls the volume. So right now, if you were to turn up the volume, you can hear a little bit the AC vent. But if I get closer, it should go up and so if I have the audio listener tied to this object right here, into the player object, it would go up in volume. Let's do that real quick. We'll go audio listener. Now we got 2. Let's uncheck this one. So now we have 1. So if we pay attention to the capsule, and especially if we're doing like a first-person game, you have it tied to the character or the camera, or really depending. But you can hear how the 3D audio works. In relation to the cube. And for the basics, that's the basics of Unity audio right there. You can manipulate how the volume rolls off. You can. We'll try this out real quick. This is something weird. Let's mess around with these curves. So this will do is you can see based on the distance, this is how loud it will be. can hear just a little bit how it. May not be able to hear it too much. We'll look at another example too on this, but you can. You can change how it reacts with the environment. So that's the basis of putting audio into Unity. And let's open up another project. I can show you more of like footsteps and things of that nature in a more complete game. Give it a moment. Alright, so this is Loud Sinister's game mod game. And some of the stuff in here, this has all the complete models and animation and everything. So if we look at our main character right here, shrink this real quick. If you look at our main character right here, we're using a different audio script for this, but the same general ideas will still apply. So if we look at our main character, and we pull up the animation window, you can right click one of the tabs and add a tab. Will not be animation. And when you're putting in the animation, it should have the animation tab right here. Some of them on Unity will either have them locked and you have to do something really weird to get the audio to play, like attaching a object to the feet, having to do like a ray cast to make sure it hits the ground, stuff like that. But for a game like this, or for any simple game, that's something you shouldn't have to worry about. So right here, we go to walk forward. I can add an event right here. And right here, I have it saying, okay, call function within the object, call the function, and I have an audio script that has all these different ways of playing the sound. If you look at that audio script, this is what's going on. And just like what I had before with the audio clip array, we have the same thing right here. And in this script, we have it so that we can play randomized audio. We're calling the clips at random. So we go here, we can scrub through the animation. You can see it right here. You can scrub through the animation, and every time the foot hits the ground, so like right here, maybe one, Then let's see if I go backwards, I can scrub. So right here, you can see the knee bend, and you can see the foot hit the ground. Then it goes right here. You can see the other foot would hit the ground, but instead it'll loop. So you can put it on this frame right here. So to kind of show it off. Got it. Footsteps tied to the animation. Other things would be we have the audio, like the music, we have it looping. We have other things like right here. So if we Alright, so we can hear the footsteps. If I walk around, we have it set out so that when we go to different objects, we go here, click it, it'll play a noise. And really in that room we have like a lot of different emitters going on. You got the fridge audio. Hear how it uses that 3D switch one or 3D. So for picking up an object, let's go to like this letter right here. And we're doing the same thing. We're using a different script and a different way of adding the audio script right here, and we're telling it to play the sound. Other things too are this one uses a prefab, but it has the same idea where we have the audio source set up so we have a 2D audio whenever you pick anything up. Or we have kind of our 3D blend, so when we go further away from an object, that it goes down in volume the way I want. But it has a little curve right here so that as we get closer, we're getting more and more intense audio. So that's pretty much everything on Unity's end. But one thing that I used when I was first starting out, and what a lot of the AAA studios use, is a thing called Wise, and that is an audio middleware. You can do the same things where you can trigger it when an object's picked up or like play a sound. You have the curves and everything that we see right here. But the one thing that it does that makes it so that you have to really pay attention to if you're using Unity audio, you're using Unity audio. If you're using Wise, you have to use Wise. Because it says like for Wise and Unreal, Unreal will use Wise like a plugin. But for Unity, it will make it so you cannot use any of the Unity sounds or audio listeners or anything like that. So let's look at one more project. And hopefully I don't crash my computer while doing this. So when I first learning doing audio for games, I had no experience with programming audio or using Unity at all, but I knew how to create sound effects, and I had a general idea of how they play within Unity. So one of the things I would look for is, let's play this game real quick. Let me. Might look a bit weird. Everything in this game is created or manipulated. So this is like a complete game. One thing that I hear when I'm playing it is no arbitrary shoots. I know when I shoot and they die, that I know there needs to be music in the game. So one of the things I'll do is I'll try and figure out where in this completed game the audio for the gun will be. So for this one, I think they put it in right here. They don't have it so that you know when it shoots unless you go into the script. Give it a minute. Alright. So in here, we think that, okay, player, I've checked player gun, it's not there. You get a gun barrel in, that's the only thing that makes sense. You'd have the V effect coming from the gun barrel end. So think if it triggers it there, it might be in here. So what I'll do is I'll scroll down, try to find anything like shoot or anything. I'll say, okay, well I think it plays right here. And then I see, okay, gun audio play. So in Unity, I know that right here they already have it so that when you fire the gun, it'll automatically trigger this. But I wanted to use Wise and see how we could do it in here and still have the same idea. And luckily for Wise, it's one line of code saying, okay, post an event, which is like, okay, when this happens, do this action. So here it's looking for an event called player shoot, and it's tied to the game object. So we go over here to Wise, it has the same idea, except I can put everything in folders. I can put everything in folders, I can manipulate the audio, and it works more like a digital audio workstation, like your Reaper or Pro Tools or whatnot. So you have your voice or your fader, so you can adjust levels here. If you look at gun, you can randomize it in here, so you don't have to worry about coding it in Unity. You can do it in here. And then you can tie that to your event. So we saw in the code, I put player shoot. I have an event right here called player shoot. So whenever the player shoots, I want it to call this event right here. And all these events can go into what's called a sound bank. And the best way to think of a sound bank is, okay, here's all my audio. So instead of putting it in like a folder, you actually put it in a sound bank and you call a sound bank in the game. So if you look in the game, we can look. I made an empty object called general, and it's saying, okay, load the bank right here, and it'll have all my events. It's a few more steps than just coding in Unity, but I have more control in here than I do looking just in Unity. Other things I don't have in this session is like so you can do your positioning, so you can do your 3D audio like we had. You do it with orientation. You can create your attenuation. So kind of like we saw in Unity, but it's in here. You can have this, which is really cool. You can create like a game sync, and it will pretty much let you do whatever. If you've been in a DAW, what it does is it allows you to do automation, but it'll let you do it calling it from the game into Wise. So let's see, like voice pitch, and then we're calling it game parameter, and we have the same kind of, okay, we're affecting the voice pitch, and we're doing it based off the game parameter. It's like health and all that. I'm gonna do it right here, and then send a value over to Wise to do all that. But we can say that for another time. And that's pretty much all I have for putting audio into games. Now go and stop my recording right here. Or unless anybody, actually, does anybody have any questions? I'll be recording it. Yeah, the rapid flashing is kind of like our workaround. It's weird.
Yeah, with the Sharon.
Yeah. We had to do this weird workaround. I think it covered a lot of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if you call any event in Unity, the big takeaway is, if you call any event for any reason, then you can also call the audio. You can call an audio clip. And switch over back to I'm gonna stop my recording.